Danny, narrow defeat tonight. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it's a shame when a game's decided by errors. I think that if you go across the 90 minutes, I don't think Mitch has had a meaningful save to make, and to concede the goal in the way we did is just frustrating, because actually I thought we were flat first half, but second half I thought we were very good, and you're playing against obviously a team that's invested quite heavily, and you go toe to toe with them, and I think for large parts of the game we were the better side. And the bottom line is there was very little chances in the game. They get one and score, and we have two or three and don't. And as much as we can talk about tactics and formations and whatnot, the bottom line is the game's never changed. It's about putting the ball in the back of the net, and we've got good players who don't seem to be doing their jobs at the minute, which is putting the ball in the back of the net.
A number of changes made from the side to play against Bournemouth, including Mitch in goal, George at right back. On a more positive, it was good to see them, but ultimately didn't really amount to much tonight.
No, look, as I said, I thought we were flat first half. I thought it was weird. We've been doing calls over the last sort of week or so with the supporters, and they're all saying about how much they're missing being here and stuff. And I think we missed them tonight. That little bit where they kind of get you going and whatnot, because as I said, we just, I don't think they were particularly, either side was particularly great first half, to be honest. I thought it was a bit of a boring first half, but second half, look, at the end of the day we gave them a little bit of a rocket half time. We said, come on, look, there's an opportunity there to go and beat this side, and to be fair to them, we gave it everything second half, but again we didn't test the keeper enough, and the one or two chances we did get, we don't score. And against the side like that, if you give them a 1-0 head start, you're going to find it tough. I mean, this run of games we've got, if you give them mistake 1-0 head starts, Halifax again, mistake 1-0, you can't legislate for that. Where you build up to the week, you set them up, you put them in the formation you want them to be in, you work on what you need to do in and out of possession, and then if someone decides they don't want to do what they're supposed to do properly, or to be fair, make a mistake, which is obviously what can happen, and we just seem to get punished every time, but we don't ever really seem to punish the opposition, which is an issue in a minute.
Looking at the first half, as you say, going toe to toe against a team that has invested in a new squad and a lot of new players, ultimately it's disappointing that the only thing that seemed to change the two sides was a mistake from the goalkeeper and under like a goal like that. Yeah, and
look, it was always going to be a tight game, because as I've said, and I maintain it, nothing's changed. I back us against anybody, so it's always going to be tight, and probably had a 1-0 written all over it. And the difference was, and this is the difference when you get to this level, is when they got an opportunity, they punished us, and we didn't punish them. And you just have to look at that, and listen, that's what we've got to train for. We've got to keep working on trying to make sure we take the chances when we get them.
You mentioned Rocket at half time. You know, that particularly would have been important to the summer players, but also Mitch as well, who would have felt a bit aggrieved about the mistake. What was said and what was the message half time?
I think we have to be careful when you're doing your talks and whatnot about who you highlight and who you isolate out, especially at half time. A couple of lads got a little bit of a rocket off us, but there's still 45-50 minutes to go and play, so you've got to be careful. You need to make sure you're inspiring them to go out and perform. And to be fair to the lads, they reacted. I thought we were really good second half.
Exactly that. We were better in the second half. We did seem to push and look for the equaliser, but it just seemed that missing touch, and like you say, that finishing goal was missing tonight.
Yeah, there's a few lads in that dressing room that know that they should have scored.
One in particular might be Ricky Miller's with the ball over the top.
Yeah, look, and you'd probably, if you freeze framed it, there's probably no one else in the club you'd rather have in that position. But look, we don't take the chance, and you can't blame it all on that, because at the end of the day, that's an opportunity. We had a couple in the first half, but we just, even some of our set pieces, we're delivering the ball. We haven't even missed the first man out, and it's little details like that where you've got to get them right, and if you don't get them right, then you put yourself at risk.
Particularly with the set pieces, it must be frustrating for you, given all the work that goes in during the week ahead of the games and in training, that we're not causing as much problems like we used to with the set pieces.
Yeah, it's a weird one, because it's almost like you have to give ownership to the players. You can't dictate every single thing, because there's you can't just have one set piece routine and that's it. You've got to have several, and then you put it into the players that, listen, you have to. So whoever's on the ball at the time, whether it's Mitch from deep or Toby or whoever it is, you have to you have to give them the authority and the ownership to be able to dictate what happens next. But we don't seem to instill what we've been working on. So if we've got 4 set pieces, for example, then one of those 4's got to happen. It can't be then make it up as you go along. One of those 4's got to happen. Now, if one of those 4 happens and we don't score, then we look at the go back to the drawing board, we look at it and go, okay, why didn't that work? But then when they take the ownership of themselves and make it up as they go along, and then it doesn't work, and then we get counter-attacked on, then you're like, well, hold on a minute, someone's got to hold their hand up here, because who made that decision? And they're the conversations that have to go on. But then when you as we know, we've got young players, that's a part of their learning and their development. And do you know what? We're performance-wise, I haven't been disappointed with us. I know we haven't beat Halifax and we haven't beat Chesterfield, but like performance-wise, nobody can go away saying, oh, they were better than us, because they haven't been.
Well, we're looking to prove things right and make a bit of a change to it on Saturday against Solihull away.
Yeah, and it doesn't get easier, does it? We've got Solihull Saturday, Notts County Tuesday, Stockport Friday. It's these are what these boys are in this league to do, and they've got to make sure that when they step on the pitch and they cross that line, they do their jobs first. Get your job done first. Do the basic things. And one of the things Amar said to him at half time was, be good at the basic stuff first, and then when we've got that confidence and we've got that pressure and we've asserted ourselves in the game, then you can sort of evolve it, you can improve it, but let's get the basics right first.
Are you in with a shot? More information below. Click here for the next video, click here to subscribe.